Welcome back to Smoke Signals, everyone. I'm Matt Montgomery, along with head football coach and athletic director Wayne Coleman. Coach, I just shake my head, man. I mean, tough loss. He was in the end zone. The video is clear. Referees, weather, part of the game.
Yeah, you can't control your officials, can't control the weather, and sometimes that happens. High school doesn't have the advantage of replay, so we lost out on that.
Yeah, tough. And of course, the way the game developed, you had a lot of opportunities in the first half. You didn't take advantage of all those, but in the second half you really did. Problem was as you said, they were going to chew up the clock, and like we were talking about yesterday, I was really glad Mount Pleasant scored so quickly at the ends to give your offense an opportunity to move the ball down the field, and you did that.
Yeah, they left us 2 minutes, and the kids went out and executed the 2-minute drill perfectly. We couldn't have drawn it up any better. We were going to use all the clock up and not give them the ball back and kick the game-winning extra point with 1 second left.
Clearly the most evenly matched game that you've had since the Palestine game.
Yeah, very similar type athletes on the field. Their skill kids are really talented like ours are. So we knew going in it was going to be a tight game.
Coming back this week after that kind of a loss where you thought you won and you didn't, how the kids' attitudes been?
No, they're great. They were very upset Friday night, and we've preached to them all year long about getting up and going to work the next day after a bad day at work. So they bounced right back Monday, ready to go.
And a lot of our fans, I look on Facebook and I see people really upset about the call at the end of the game. There's nothing you can do about it. And people are saying, do you call the UIL? What do you do? How do you handle that situation with officials? I mean, you do contact them and let them know, obviously.
Sure, you let them know what you saw. You let them know what you saw in the film. You send them a copy of the film, and hopefully they can, learn from their mistake and fix, if it's a mechanical problem, fix that. And hopefully everybody gets better from it. Yeah,
one of those life lessons for your team that's hard, but I don't want to call it a good life lesson, but in the end, when you look back on it, it'll be one of those things that leaves a bitter taste, but you can learn from it if you're a young man going through something like that.
Yeah, you need to take every life experience and try to learn from it. So even if you had been called a touchdown in the end zone, you need to learn from, putting yourself in that position. Let's not do that again. Let's finish plays in the first half. Let's make sure that we don't have to rely on the officials.
Well, it was a very entertaining game at Tomato Bowl last week. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Of course, here's Clater hitting post route to Jalen for the score here.
Beautiful ball. Freeney had a big game for us.
Yeah, 2 TDs, a pick. And here's a big game. We thought this was going to be a 98-yarder to Chris Carpenter.
Yeah, very close. Another beautiful ball by Patrick. Had a chance there. Chris just couldn't quite get away from him.
Boy, Chris just catches this real quick pass right here, and watch the move he makes right here on this corner. Just, ouch.
Yeah, Chris is, he's just getting better every game, and we're going to really miss him next year.
And here's Jalen's second touchdown catch. Good ball.
Yeah, you can't see it on the video, but he made an incredible double move to get open. He had a great game for us.
And here's another senior with one of his best runs, I think, of the year, Aaron Richardson.
For sure. This was an incredible run. This was an RPO, and Patrick did a good job of reading the secondary and handing the ball off there.
Here's one of those sophomores that'll be back for the next couple of years, Isaiah Mallard, making a heck of a play here, forcing the fumble and also recovering it.
Yeah, big play by Isaiah right here. Just really excited about his future with us.
Here's Patrick with a nice slicing run on the zone read, runs it in for the score from 4 yards out. Good blocking.
Yep. It's been a good play for us this year. Patrick's a tough runner.
And this was our play of the game by Stephen Gallegos. Nice pick.
Beautiful play by Stephen. He's had a really good senior year for us.
Here's Patrick firing another strike down here to Freeney. Oh, perfect pass.
Yeah, Patrick's done a really good job on the ball over the middle this year.
Here we go, Coach. This is the play that wasn't. He clearly gets in the end zone here and just got yanked out really quickly, as we can see here. And But
Yeah, there's a point in that video there where there's only like 6 feet that aren't in the end zone, and they're all linemen. So that's a tough one.
And right there, I mean, you saw at the end of the play, he was out of the end zone. Of course, I'm on the goal line. I'm looking up, and I move, and the line judge, or whatever his position's called, is right in front of me. He saw Patrick at that last moment you saw in the video coming out, and he didn't see the first part where he was in. And I got a little upset, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know you did too.
Yeah, everybody did.
It's
You know,
tough.
your kids work so hard, and
Yeah.
and especially when they execute the 2-minute drill that well, they
It
really.
was beautiful.
Yeah,
It
they
was
did. They
beautiful.
worked it down to the 10-yard line, and
Yeah.
kids did a good job.
I mean, you had the way you worked the drive down the field. You had the clock management was really good. You almost had the score with Casey on the little H-back, but didn't happen. But you stopped the clock. Everything worked out great except the call, and that's just life. So.
Yeah, it is, and let's not put ourselves in a position where
Yeah.
we're relying on officials.
Sure.
Well, you finish out with Lindale. Lindale's playoff bound. They got a big win last week over Pine Tree that solidified their spot in the playoffs. And this is a good football team, Coach. They can score a lot of points, and they have a great running back. Talk about Lindale, what they do well.
They really run the ball well, and because they run the ball so well, their play action is really good. They've rotated quarterbacks a lot this year. Both of them are excellent players, but Jenkins, the running back, can go.
Yeah.
And he's a load to bring down. He's a big kid.
He's 212, 215, and he's a junior, but he'll be a Division I running back.
He's big time.
Yeah. So talk about obviously they're going to run the ball a lot, and that's something your defense has struggled with, running the ball. Any different changes to the scheme? Anything trying to stop that?
Yeah, you just got to take your chances and load the box and try to hold up in your man coverage as best as you can.
And offensively, Lindale's given up some points. So I mean, your offense is the way you guys can get clicking. You should be able to move the ball.
Yeah, and they're kind of gonna play, that kind of style of load the box and play a lot of man coverage also. So, and we say that they may watch the last week's tape and say, hey, we got to double cover this guy or that guy or whatever. And Coach Cochran's very creative. He'll do a good job over there of mixing stuff up and trying to confuse our quarterback.
Coach, I want to drop down and talk about your sub-varsity teams. Let's talk about your junior varsity. They've had quite a year, and they got a chance Thursday night to make a name for themselves in the district race, but co-champs.
Yeah, they're going for their 5th win Thursday night, and a chance to, if things fell right, get a piece of the title, but for sure get a chance to finish in 2nd place. And so they've had a really good year. And they just keep better every week. And there's we've got a lot of skilled kids on that team. They're going to come up and make plays on Friday night. And then our freshmen had a big win last week over Mount Pleasant. And the thing that I don't think people realize, like on the freshman level, you're trying to get them to run the same schemes you're running on Friday night. So you're asking 14, 15-year-olds now to throw and catch the same routes that you're doing on Friday night. And so we don't get too wrapped up in, let's only throw it to this one guy who's your best receiver, or let's only hand it to this one running back who's your best running back. We try to spread the ball out on Thursday night with our freshmen and get everybody a chance to touch the ball, because those are the kids that are going to have to make the plays in the future. And everybody loves to win, but we're going to run the offense, and we're going to spread the ball out and ask our quarterback to make reads and throw the ball to the open guys. And they've done a really good job with that.
Well, Coach, it's senior night, and I know that a lot of these seniors are special to you, and these are guys that have been just quality young men throughout their time on the varsity. We're going to miss them, and it is a big night as we celebrate those seniors in the last football game. And talk a little bit about, as a unit, this group that's graduating.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 of those guys that have started for 3 years for us. Aaron and Chris and Marco, those guys are, they're going to be missed. They've been great kids. They've been great role models, great leaders, just a positive influence on the entire school. And that whole senior group there's been guys that have kind of, do I want to keep playing? Do I not want? And they've stuck it out. And I'm not talking about this year. This year we've had nobody want to walk off and leave or quit. These guys have showed the greatest character. It's maybe one of my most pleasurable groups to have ever coached. And I know everybody wants to, coach that 10-win team.
Yeah.
But these guys are special.
Yeah.
and they get a chance to go out with a bang. I mean, you got a playoff team with Lindale. You got somebody that you know is going to the playoffs, and you can play spoiler, whatever you want to call that term or whatever. But what are the keys to the game for your team to get the win?
No, we've got to slow down the run game somehow, and nobody's been able to do it. They run the ball really well, so we're going to have to, take some chances there on defense. Maybe we leave some guys uncovered and try to stop the run. But then offensively, let's make sure we cash in when we get the chances. And we've been our red zone conversion rate this year was astronomical going into last week. So the fact that we didn't score there in the red zone at the end is, that's very uncharacteristic of us. We've been very good. We got to make sure that we execute that part this week.
Well, it's Jacksonville versus Lindale, final game at historic Tomato Bowl. It is senior night, so all the seniors that participate in all the Friday night activities will be honored. All those festivities start at 7 o'clock. Hope to see you there. For head coach Wayne Coleman, I'm Matt Montgomery. We'll see you next time right here on Smoke Signals.